The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina has a crappy first episode. By extension, it means the rest of the show sucks too. I'm not gonna go over the show because honestly nobody watches my videos, but I don't think I can bring myself to watch a whole season of this overly dramatic, convoluted, pointless schlock. I know it's very highly rated, but I'm pretty sure most of its audience is teenage girls, which is fine. I just wanted to make a YouTube video. The show was adapted from a comic book series in 2014, published by Archie Horror, in turn a remake of sorts of the 60s Sabrina the Teenage Witch series. It follows a witch in the 70s, but with teenage drama sprinkled in. Fun, right? For a show with such a fantastical and fun premise, the Netflix show is weirdly bleak and bland with jumbled pacing and empty characters. The first episode, which I shall be reviewing, is all over the place, confusing, and kinda fucking boring. Which is a pity because this isn't a technically bad show. The lighting is great, the props and sets are great, and so is the cinematography. It's just that at the center of it all, this episode, and I suppose the whole show, is confused. It doesn't know if it wants to be a teen drama, a fun adaptation, a weird parody of horror tropes, a comedy,
rabbit's feet,
a gothic mystery, or some weird statement against bullies and misogynists. And that makes for a terrible first episode. The plot is a product of common teenage female fantasies. It's overly dramatic and doesn't know when to take itself seriously. Surprisingly not fun to watch. It's also a product of a clumsy attempt to adapt a long-running series. The first issue of Sabrina the Teenage Witch ran for 77 issues, and yet in the first episode of the show, the writer tries to cram all sorts of shit down your throat, half-heartedly mumbling an explanation. If this show had sex like it tells a story, it'd ram its dick in immediately without any warning, stick a finger in every hole in your body, all while telling you a joke through sobs. But let me show you what I mean. The story starts with a long-ass intro. Really? Where was all this color and fun in the rest of the show? Did it run away and die? Then we're introduced to our protagonist, Sabrina Spellman. Sabrina's a fucking loser. She gets off the gore, is a part-time forest warrior, and full-time dumbass.
what?
I don't know what she was like in the comic, but in here she's shy or aggressive. I don't know what she is. She's certainly not very interesting. Her friends are there, but like, don't do anything. I don't care who they are because other than their physical appearance, there is nothing to tell them apart. Speaking of bland characters, we meet Mrs. Wardwell.
Hi! I didn't know you were a fan of horror movies.
Who doesn't enjoy a good scare every now and again? Especially this time of year.
Who the hell is she? This show doesn't care. She's just some creepy old teacher and bam, she's gone. She drives off and meets a jump scare. Apparently she's never paid attention to all those horror movies she watched because she just stops the car and picks up the girl? Why? And why does she look so calm now? What is that smile? What? After that, it's more introductions. This time to Sabrina's true love, Harvey. What's he like? Well, he's smart and funny and handsome and kind and perfect and that's it. Can we see the trend here? Wow, the kids are gonna love that. Few minutes in, almost no context or explanation, and you kill the old lady. Perfect. After that, Sabrina meets her aunts, who tell her that she has to find a familiar.
Familiars are goblins who have taken on the shape of animals to better serve their witchmasters. There's nothing human about them.
Some spirit animal crap. For her 16th birthday, she'll become a proper witch and move to some discount Hogwarts. This dark baptism, as it's called, means moving away from her boyfriend in school, which is interesting. It allows us to see more of Sabrina's personality and motivations, making her more endearing and likable as a character. This is further expanded on in the next scene, where she discusses with her cousin, Ambrose, about doubts of becoming a full-on witch.
What? I know! And I want all those things, I do. It's just... It's dumb. You're only supposed to start missing things after you say goodbye to them, right?
I've been under house arrest without aunties for the last 75 years, Sabrina. Forbidden from leaving these grounds. I am continuously missing everything.
Look, the characters aren't bad. If anything, Ambrose is one of the most fun to watch. But there's no background or weight to any of this. We don't feel Sabrina's struggle because we only saw her normal life for like 5 fucking seconds, and we don't have an idea what the Academy of Dark Arts is like. Discount Lebowski spraying all this fantasy bull, and we have no idea what the consequences are, and the show doesn't bother to explain it. Do they seriously expect us to read all the books before watching this? How do they expect us to feel sad for Ambrose or invested in Sabrina when we know nothing about them? It doesn't work. We don't feel sad or invested, just bored. Now, it is here when the plot is broken up into millions of little subplots, all fighting for your attention, none of which have any resolution. Sabrina goes to the woods and then meets these girls who cast an evil spell on her. Again, we know nothing about them or their connection to Sabrina. Blah blah blah, dead parents, blah blah blah, gone. Did I mention this show has magic? You'd almost forget because it looks so lame.
If truly I am cursed today, let water wash the hex away. If truly I am cursed today, let water wash the hex away.
Remember when the Christopher Columbus Harry Potter film came out and the magic was visible and colorful and everything felt different and vibrant? Yeah, well, the show doesn't. Then it switches immediately to a subplot about one of her friends being bullied. Then the show decides to focus on the subplot about the principal of their normal school, who's some Ted Cruz looking piece of crap. And then some random guy is murdered, which will become a subplot of its own, and the aunts prepare his corpse for Sabrina's baptism. Oh, and you've probably noticed a weird fisheye effect around the frame in some shots. It's only there sometimes, and I guess it's to convey a spooky effect. I don't know, it looks like someone smeared lubricant on the lens to me. Back to the issue about moving school, where Simon vs. the Homo sapiens agenda is told Sabrina's moving and freaks out.
But the one really bad thing is saying goodbye to you, to Roz and Susie.
Are you saying all this because you don't want to be with me? Because I said I love you?
Dude, if my girlfriend was a witch, I'd be fucking ecstatic. What's wrong with you, idiot?
I don't want to suddenly be gone from your life and you not know why or blame yourself. I know it's a lot to take.
More stupid drama! And after that heavy scene, it's back to the subplot about the Dicky principal. But wait, before that, we have to wonder about the possible murder of Sabrina's parents first. And then there's this weird dream sequence. What? Is Sabrina part fucking goat? Is she gonna start eating the grass and shitting on the lawn? Before we let that scene settle in, the show cuts back to the stupid principal. Wow, you're a fucking psychopath.
I heard you calling in the woods.
What the fuck is that? Slenderman just becomes a cat?
But not both, and yet my father,
A warlock married my mother and she was human.
Yes, and it very nearly got Edward excommunicated.
which begs the question.
Why would I want to join an organization that would do that to anyone I cared about?
Because it's what they wanted for you.
Oh, for fuck's sake, lighten up! This is a show about a teenage witch in the 70s, not the Holocaust. Why are we back to talking about the parents? Don't you want time for the last scene to sink in? None of these scenes connect or even have a similar tone or theme. It makes the show feel jarring and long as hell.
You realize your gifts, that euphoria, fade to nothing if you aren't baptized.
I know. I just need to be sure.
In that case, you need to get your hands on a malum malus.
What's a malum malus?
It depends who's translating. If it's a man, it's the apple of evil. If it's a woman, it's the fruit of knowledge.
Okay, so there is a MacGuffin about a magic apple that will tell her the future or something. Alright. I'm interested. Let's go. Oh wait, no. We have to have another one of these scenes. Is this really necessary? Cut back to Evil Wardwell while we still have no idea what possessed her or its intentions, FYI. Cut back to a subplot about a witch hunter.
Well, he was murdered.
A witch hunter?
And then there's this cornfield maze and fucking Satan. And then there's this Addams Family looking ass r/nice guys looking ass motherfucker. Can you see what I meant by jumbled and confusing? This show is juggling plot threads, references, themes, and it's fucking exhausting. In conclusion, this pilot episode is pretty hard to watch. It's bleak and the magic sucks. The characters are empty. It doesn't seem to have any fun of itself, which makes the lackluster story even harder to swallow. The writing reminds me of cramming for your finals on the night before, hasty and a complete mess. The first episode of a show should be an introduction, a hint of everything else to come. It's supposed to engage you and draw you in, and this episode does not do anything of the sort.